There's some Revelator songs that I'm like, man, we got to bring those back. But we've done so many songs and albums. There's like so much to choose from that I guess we don't think about it all the time.
We need to get you a really good slide player in Nashville, and you guys need to cover a Derek Truck song.
He told me Susan wrote the song, which he was proud of. He said that with great pride, the way you say nice things about your family.
From the first note with Tedeschi Trucks, they just blow you away.
Yes, we will. I wouldn't argue with anyone that says that could be my favorite song on I Am the Moon.
He, signs my ticket, and I look over at Susan. I say, Susan, would you sign it too? And she goes, oh, heck yeah.
Kevin calls me and was like, hey, man, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. He was like, Derek wants to record some tuba stuff. I said, when do you want to do it? And he was like, let's do it Wednesday.
It was Midnight Harlem. And it caught our attention, man. And we started diving deep, and we're like, okay, we got to see these guys.
What's up? Welcome to the unofficial Tedeschi Trucks podcast. This is episode 166, I think. And I am Adam Choit. To follow this show, it's at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram. On YouTube, just search Tedeschi Trucks Podcast. If you're watching, you're already there, so please be sure to subscribe, give the show likes, shares, comments, all that stuff is appreciated. I'll definitely put out an audio version of this episode as well, so definitely subscribe on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on, too, at Adam Choit on Instagram and Twitter if you'd like to follow me, TedeschiTrucksPodcast.com for everything related to the show. Let's recap these last three shows. Where the hell was the band? I don't know how I can barely keep up with them and remember where the hell they've been traveling to. They go to so many cities every year. But Milwaukee, Kalamazoo, and Sterling Heights, Michigan were the last three shows, and we got some guests who were there. We got them all covered here. We got Chris and Mary Jane returning to the show, and newcomers Tony and Joe, who were at all three of those shows. So I'm excited to talk more with them and get to know them a little bit better too. So without further ado, Tony, Joe, Chris, and Mary Jane. What's up, y'all?
Hi. Hey, Adam, how you doing?
Good. We are all here. It is happening. Let's start with Tony and Joe. Where are you guys exactly right now?
We're just outside of Chicago, Brookfield, Illinois. This is where I'm from, and he's in town.
From Maryland. I'm an East Coast guy now, so had a chance to come over and hook up in Kalamazoo.
So you drove up for the shows together, or for that last show together?
Yeah, I drove up, and anytime I can get on a show with my nephew here, I don't pass that chance. It's rare, so always a good time, always a good show, man.
Nice. Got family, uncles and nephews. Where are you guys? Where are you guys, Chris and Mary Jane?
We're in Canton, Michigan. We're like right in the middle of Detroit and Ann Arbor.
Nice. So that's your hometown or home state shows, the Kalamazoo, the Sterling Heights is the one you went to.
Yeah.
How far are you? Yeah, I was gonna ask, how far are you from Sterling Heights?
We're about 45 minutes from Sterling Heights, about 45 minutes from Toledo. So we got lucky this year.
Right. You were at Toledo also.
Yeah.
Correct.
Super cool. That was a fun one to recap and whatnot. Tony and Joe, why don't you guys tell me about what's that?
No, from the Midwest, we get lucky because you have a lot that are within 6-7 hour drive, 4 or 5 hour drive that we could hit a lot of shows there, which is what I did over the weekend. It takes its toll. I don't know, like you're saying, I don't know how they do it, day after day, month after month, because it is grueling, all the driving and different places.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to ask, why don't you? I think Joe got into TTB from Tony, if we were talking about it a little bit. But Tony, why don't you tell me about your sort of musical TTB journey, and what music did you grow up listening to? Do you play guitar? How did you find TTB? What's your history a little bit?
Yeah. So I found them in 2019. That's when they were still doing their Chicago theater residencies. They did them in January, so I just remember it was cold, snowing, we had no business being out. I really didn't want to go out. And then my buddy's like, I haven't heard of them previous to that. my buddy's like, oh, Susan Tedeschi and her band, they're playing the Chicago Theater. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I've heard of her, blues, whatnot. So I went. That was a Saturday night, and just blew my mind. We had really good seats. We got them off a scalper outside, which you don't really do anymore, and probably had 15th row, and just the sound. Susan just blew me away. I remember she was wearing just a bright red dress that night with her guitar and her heels, and I'm like, oh my God, amazing, and I think that's when Gabe had just joined. That was in January of 2019. I think that's when Kofi went out shortly before that. So I never got a chance to see them with him. But that's kind of my story. And growing up, I'm 28 shows in since 2019. I'm lucky that we have the Chicago residency.
28, is that what you said?
28, yeah. I've been on a tear. And, he lives in D.C., so I've linked up with him at the introduced them with them at the Warner Theater, which is probably the best venue that I've been in so far to see them. The room is real small. The sound is great. And so now he's on the bus, and we like to link up when we can and go to shows. He's probably a big musical influence in my life. There's a lot, Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Allman Brothers, Stones, just anything within that 70s rock era. In the 80s and the 90s stuff. When we were driving back today from Michigan, we just hit it on random, and all the tunes come out.
Try to outdo each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. So he got you kind of into broadly, or music more broadly, and to these
and all of our family really are. My grandfather, always had music around.
But then Joe got into TTB from Tony, right?
Just to segue right into that, I think he was over one time and us were listening to random music. I think I had Government Mule on, and he goes, I think you'll like this band. And I was like, well, I've never heard of them. I'm a big Allman Brothers fan, so he gave me the background. Okay, I'm in. And I was lucky enough to have a seasoned, person that was there and take me through the hoops and just watch me enjoy it in a great venue. So a lot of people have the ones where they just buy a ticket. I was lucky enough to have a great venue, great people.
He was in. By the second song, he was in.
I think they opened up, and that's when she had just broken her leg.
Yes.
She was.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. Yep.
So that's my introduction. I'm Aiden. I'm actually going to see him in 2 weeks in Maryland. So they'll be in Columbia, Maryland, outside venue. It's beautiful. They're gonna rock. I cannot wait. My wife and my son are in. They're about three shows in.
Yeah, we took them to Madison Square Garden.
So they're
it's
great.
Keeps going.
Yeah, that's my
nice.
The music
very cool. Chris and Mary, and you guys are been in this for a minute, if I recall, and been to quite a few shows. Where were we? What was your where are you guys at with TTB?
We started in 2019 with TBB. We just did our 7th show.
Oh, okay.
And we're looking to do our 8th show tomorrow night. We're driving out to Cahoga Falls, is it?
Yeah, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio, Akron, or whatever.
Nice.
So we're on vacation this week, so we're cruising, man. We're going.
Nice. I was gonna say, it's funny because I know you went to Australia, of course, and I think that was. Was that planned for TTB, or was it kind of? It was part TTB, part
we were going
anniversary
on our
or
anniversary,
right?
And we were going in May, and they were playing in April, and we just made some adjustments to get us into April when they were there.
Right. It's funny because I can be confused or not realize when I'm talking to fans who discovered the band in 2019 or 2017, when you all are so passionate and going to multiple shows shortly after discovering the band, or in some cases traveling to other continents. I forget. Oh, they haven't seen you guys haven't seen the band 75 times yet, but I feel like I'm talking to someone who's, it's the same tone and passion, no matter who I'm speaking to, no matter how many times they've seen the band, no matter if they're just a fan or they work for or with the band or just love this kind of music in general. And, everyone, definitely is passionate about TTB, and that's what shines through. Why don't we get into the shows? So first up was was the Milwaukee show, right?
Yep.
I don't know if you guys are poster people, but usually I take a look at the artwork here. This is cool. This is the venue.
No, I actually looked it up. It's some type of a horticultural observatory or something like that.
Okay.
If you're from that area, you recognize it, and it's pretty famous there. I didn't know what it was, but I'm like, oh, let me look it up.
Yeah, it's cool that No, I was gonna say that like almost all the posters are some kind of ode to the local flavor, and some of them have.
There's a Chicago one like that too. It was really cool.
Yeah, no, this is sharp. I dig this one. It's got a unique like color and tone to it.
Yeah.
Milwaukee style.
Yep.
Make a nice hat.
You got the band's pictures there. Nice. What would tell me about the like walking in? What was the vibe and heading in there? What was the crowd like? And I'll let you guys walk through the show.
Yeah, Milwaukee's a very accessible city, so parking was a breeze. About a 5-minute walk into the venue. It's in their Summerfest grounds. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's a huge grounds just off of downtown Milwaukee, off Lake Michigan, right there, where they have festivals and whatnot. So nestled in there, overlooking Lake Michigan. So like if you're in the upper part of the seats, you look back, you see the water and like a little lighthouse back there. So a real cool venue. I think it seats about 5,000, so not huge, but it's real spread out kind of when you're walking up. So everyone around. I've met a buddy up there who brought his family, his wife and kids. They just wanted to. I think their third time seeing them. I put him on the bus last year, a buddy of mine. And so no, it was good. Milwaukee's always a fun, laid back crowd. It was a good vibe coming in. I came in like just at the tail end of Margot Price playing, and the band has a big sound, and so you could definitely hear them not being in the seats. You can kind of hear them in the background. It sounded really nice.
Yeah, very, very cool. Good stuff there. I'll pull up the set list here. We can take a look at that. Mr. Charlie, Do I Look Worried? Soul Sweet Song, Bring It On Home, I'm the Moon, Let Me Get By, 1999, Circles, Patsy Angel Into Sugary, Part of Me, The Sky Is Crying, Midnight, Harlem, Gilded Splinters, and to close it out, Color of the Blues, and Stranger in a Strange Land. Yeah, this is stellar, and I should thank the person who did put out audio of this show on the archive. Because this one was recorded, so I did catch. I think I listened to this entire show. Some of the songs a few times. Like really, I think this is the first time I really was able to hear the 1999 straight through.
Yeah,
what a wild rendition. What were you saying?
I said I think Jam Base posted a video on Facebook, but it didn't go to the end. It just got the main part of it, but
a snippet
at the end. I mean, you've heard it. Mike just went off. He just did his howling and his, screaming and whatnot, and he was getting the crowd going. It was awesome how he ended it, and I think Susan and Eric traded some guitar licks in between there and whatnot. But that was special because I know they did it in Indiana or Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. That's the Prince's home and whatnot. So it was good to see that they brought that out for this show.
Yeah, such a unique version. Like it's a totally different, like I guess maybe key and arrangement and whatnot. I wonder if it's based on someone else's existing cover of the song or some. There was some other, like, what is the exact inspiration? Is it just we're Mike just being creative, Mike, and wanting to put his own unique flair, most likely on the Prince song.
Yeah,
but yeah, wild stuff there at the end with his, like you're saying, the falsetto and hitting those high notes. Such range of like, of pitch from high to low, but also range of like different styles like he can do. Like sometimes like you hear something, the sounds that come out of that guy's mouth, and you're not even sure who it is in the band. Sometimes it does take a second.
He's amazing. Yeah, every time he gets up,
when
there,
you
the
see
crowd
him
goes
walk
wild.
up, you know you're in for a ride. Yeah, it's always good to see him. I wasn't at the show. I'm just commenting on. I call him Mikey. Maybe it's an East Coast thing, but yeah, he's amazing. My gosh.
And of course,
I'll let you guys go on.
That was the anniversary of Jerry Garcia's death. So they opened up with Mr. Charlie, popular Dead song, which was cool, and then had that Angel in the Sugary, which is always a staple and whatnot. So that was a good feeling that they kind of came out with that, paid that ode to Jerry real quick.
That's
that was cool.
That's good. That's good to know that, like, I'm not like a hardcore Deadhead myself, so I actually was not aware of that. And there always is a method to the madness, a rhyme to everything, or whatever, to the reason to the whatever, like of how they put these set lists together. And sometimes we don't know. Sometimes there's more meaning beyond what is just the obvious reason a song might be in the set list. It's not just, oh, let's play this because blah blah blah. There's like a deeper type of meaning, but it's good to know for my knowledge that the band does recognize death dates, because that's something I myself am kind of like on the fence sometime about. I see people posting on social media, this is the day that so and so died, or Dwayne's accident, whatever the case may be, and I'm like, I don't love the commemorating the death date. It's not really my thing, but I guess it's anything that like evokes the memory of what the person did while they were alive, like that's fine. But like something about death dates is a little bit like, oh, do we have to? I want to ignore that. I'm not gonna, but whatever gets the memory going. But this is just a great set list. Circles into Passaquan, good stuff. I'll let you guys steer and just speak to what jumps out at you.
Yeah, no, Do I Look Worried? That's always a fan favorite when Derek goes off and in the middle of the song, and then Susan comes back. The same crowd goes wild. That's always a favorite one to see in a show.
In his favorite spot in the 2 spot in the set list is probably the most popular place for it over the years.
I think they did that on Sunday as well, yesterday as well. Brought that in. And then Bring It On Home, that's a cover too, right? That's
Led Zeppelin.
That is Zeppelin cover.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then we could debate if the Led Zeppelin version is a cover or not. That's a different conversation.
And Sonny Williams then.
What's that?
Sonny Williams then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know there's been some controversies with Led Zeppelin. Did they, like, in terms of what's originals and what's covers? There's some gray area. There's some gray areas too with like, even like Bob Dylan has done some blues songs over the years where it's like, is that a cover or is that just sort of using other song as an inspiration? Like, there's definitely some gray area with that. But yeah, well, I love what they do with the Bring It On Home and
yeah, I think that's what makes Tedeschi so, like, how they are not afraid to just take on other people's music and give their own rendition of it and add a little bit to it to give some originality. Say, look, we respect it, but here's the way we're gonna play it. And you can see that when they use the combination, they blend into songs with, from one to another. It's just a great example.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that. Like, I think all of their versions are kind of objectively better than all of the originals that they cover. I mean, I'm biased, but I guess what I mean is that the reason why someone might like the original more is not because it's better, but it's more of like the nostalgia and what you associate with like the original and your memory and like, but in terms of like skill and just pure sonic power, if I'm using that term correctly in this context, like it's hard to beat what TTB does with any of their covers. Like even just like Gilded who does Gilded Splinters better than Tedeschi Trucks Band or
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
And that Wah Wah song from George Harrison, I've never heard that song, but I heard their version from the Red Rocks, and they did it in Chicago. When I went and heard the Harrison version, I'm like, wait a minute, this is nowhere near as good than how they did it.
And even just thinking about like what they've been doing with they didn't play it in this set, they did the Bring It On Home, but the What Is and What Should Never Be, what Derek is doing on that Led Zeppelin song with the slide on some of those like Jimmy Page part, because Jimmy Page is not playing slide guitar on that song, but Derek is bringing his style and also like capturing the spirit of even some of those solos and licks, but making them his own. But yeah, capturing the spirit of Jimmy Page and
what a song brings out in them. They regurgitate it back. They know how to. This is what it meant to me, and I'll show you, and I'll show you what it means to me even better.
Right.
It's fun
Chris
to watch.
I was gonna say, Chris and Mary Jane, you can feel free to jump in at this part of the conversation too. If anything jumps out at you, we could jump around. I'm sure you can say.
Most of their concerts, half the sets usually covers. But the thing is, they make those like you say, they make those covers their own.
Oh my God!
It's like they don't sound like the original song. It's almost like they should almost do an album of all their cover songs.
Yes,
they could.
Yes.
Right.
And double of that.
Yeah, that would even be a couple of A side, B sides. So yeah, absolutely.
Box set.
I feel like
old school.
I was gonna say, I feel like with this band, it's different, like the way and their like approach to doing covers compared to other bands. I feel like maybe with other bands when they're doing covers, it's almost like a little bit of like a crutch. We're gonna play the song that everybody knows. We're gonna play a popular song. We don't have the catalog maybe of our originals. Whereas like this band, when they play covers, I feel like it's because they 100% want to. It's all about the legacy of the artist that they're covering, and it's at sort of the expense and a sacrifice to like they're just gonna have to if they choose to do all these covers, they're just gonna play less originals, and I guess that's not. I mean, I guess it's pros and cons with anything, but you want to push your own music, right? They want to like promote themselves and their own music. So anytime they play 1999 or Bring It On Home or Mr. Charlie or Gilded Splinter, Skies Crying, they're both their songs, their encore covers, like that's really at the sacrifice. Like they could play, if they wanted a bunch of I Am the Moon stuff. I know that they're not pushing that as much like in 2024, the I Am the Moon catalog, but they could.
Well, me and my wife we're just talking about this today. Back 20 years ago, bands went on tour to sell albums. You go to a show, you see a bunch of songs that you like from the new album, you go buy the new album. That's how they made their money. Seems like today, everybody's streaming and taking, once the song is done, it's shared by everybody. So now they've got to play songs and do concerts to make their shows and make their money. And they're free to do whatever they want. They're not inside of a box where they've got to play so many songs to sell that album. And it gives them the freedom, I think, to play whatever the hell they want to play.
Yeah, it's a different model, especially for a band with like so I guess sort of level of popularity of Tedeschi Trucks band, where it's not like you're saying about selling the albums, it's about touring, and also like I think they're heading more towards like a subscriber based, existence where like. Yeah, like whereas people like us, the most hardcore, passionate people, are going to subscribe to this and be a fan club and want the pre-sales and all that stuff. Like the passionate repeat customers, more what they're relying on than like the millions of album sales. Whereas like maybe not everyone is even going to like the album, but it's like the hot thing for that's just not how music is anymore. You want to find like your, I guess, whatever it is, whatever the number is, like your people who are going to keep coming back that you can rely upon for.
Yeah, to build it. What I see with this band, it just grows. I think at the Kalamazoo, we were asking people, are you in? Are you in?
On the bus.
They're like, we're in. We're in. So this fan base just continues to grow. I'm glad.
Once you hear them, a lot of people are like, oh, I've never heard of. Like we were even talking to the staff. They're like, oh, we never heard these guys, and everyone's in. Like they're like, oh,
we're like, all right, well, are you in? They're like, yeah, we're in. Like, all right, welcome aboard. Get on the train.
Yeah, no one's like dislikes the band or like the best way I put it is like everyone who I've been taken to a TTB show like one time. I think 99% of those people who've been to one who've been to more than one. So that's the testament to the band. Like so many, I'm sure you're friends or someone whatever drags you out to a show sometimes you're like I don't want to you don't want to see them again, but like with this band it's like automatic.
You've been there once, you'll be there twice.
Yeah, I think so. It's impossible not to.
Yeah, you get addicted to it. You get a little hooked on it. All our friends and family are like, you're going to another concert again? Like, yeah, we know concerts in a week. Yep, we're going.
But what they don't understand is that all the shows are different.
Yeah.
Right.
If I didn't live 500 miles away, I think we'd be I'd be close, not 28, but I think 8 in a span of 4 years is.
You've done 8 in 2 years.
Is it 2 years? Oh my God.
Not bad.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And it's not just that the shows are different, and I've said all these points a million times. It's that the quality is so much better. Like there's a handful of bands that will play, a lot of variety in their set lists and have a big catalog, but they don't have the musical skill, virtuosity, talent, cohesion, diversity in every possible way on stage that Tedeschi Trucks Band has.
I disagree. I think lots of bands could do it. I think they're just lazy. They put a production together. It's all in the can. It's ready to go. Every night's the same, and they can do it in their sleep. But there's no spontaneity to it. It's almost like watching, a prepackaged video almost. If you've been to 2 shows, it's everything's the same. They even say the exact same words. It's the same lines and the same. It's like I say, this is really refreshing seeing a band that plays lots of songs and mixes it up, and it's. I'm sure it's not that difficult, but I think a lot of the bands are just lazy. They go out there and they play their songs, and that's it. I think this band really cares about what songs they're playing, where they're playing them, and it's a big thing.
They outwork people. I think they do outwork people. It's more a testament to how hard they work than maybe even more detriment about other musicians. But there's definitely a big point to what you're saying. And I think a lot of that credit goes to obviously the whole band and everyone connected who works for and with the band and is on stage with all the band members, of course. But I think that's really Derek steering that ship more than anyone as the band leader who chooses the set list and makes them rehearse, unlike some other bands he's been in over the years that didn't rehearse, that would just show up, where's my Allman Brothers book? 5 minutes before the show starts, where's Dickie? Where's Greg? What's happening? Where's this band? They're sound checking, they're rehearsing, they're making sure they've got their T's and I's crossed. Dotted I's and T's crossed. I mean, I don't know who in the band pushes the most. I'm sure they all push, obviously, for songs and diversity and set lists and things like that. But I think the tone is definitely set by Derek, wanting to keep things fresh. I mean, if not just for himself, I feel like, and the band wants to keep things fresh and for themselves.
You don't have to go in every night, every show, and it's the same playlist and. Change it up. But I never thought of it that way. That who's driving that playlist? Whoever is putting it together is doing a pretty damn good job. And the order in which they go, it's not by accident. So they got to be commended.
Well, I also thought a certain night, okay, I'm gonna let Aisha shine tonight, so I'm gonna give her a couple songs.
Well, that's
so just that mentality too.
That night they were going at it.
Just thinking about how they're showcasing everyone and whatnot.
Yeah.
Elizabeth had a great weekend. Just maybe that due to Earthfrom's departure, but she had some big moments over the weekend too, which is great to see. I love her.
I wonder, it's almost instinctual when Derek and the band puts together the set list where they don't even have to look at a chart and write down, here's an Alicia thing, here's wherever this part, here's Elizabeth's part. They know, he could almost just see the songs in front of him and just look at a set list and be like, oh, this is a good set list because everyone gets to shine.
I've never really thought of it that way. Who is doing that? Who's driving it? Be curious.
It's Derek with from what I understand, with obviously feedback and input and whatnot.
Sterling Heights, Ephraim wasn't there, and they didn't have a backup trumpet player. So that might have contributed to what songs they played.
Sure, that makes sense.
But also, they still sounded really good. That train kept on rolling, even though they were missing the trumpet player. But do you know what happened with Ephraim, or is he coming back? Or
I'm not sure. I guess he's had, from what the band put out, just personal reasons. They didn't specify. I hope everything's okay. I mean,
we missed him, man. He's awesome, man. He's really good.
Yeah, sounds like he'll be back, and we were talking about Mark had step aside too for something, maybe personal reasons or something, for a couple of shows, but he's back in the the photos as well. So these pictures are with Margot's band, right?
Yeah.
Members.
Yeah. They were really big
'Cause-
sound too. They're really good. They rock it.
Yeah, they were on the Red Rock stream
Yeah.
doing
And I
doing
think
it
the
out there.
highlight
Remember?
for me was Sky is Crying. I've never heard them do that one live.
They don't do it a lot.
What's that?
They don't do it a lot.
Yeah, I have. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, do they play that a lot? That just one, those you get those moments in shows where you're just taken to another place by the sound, and that's what that song did to me that night. It just took me in another place, and it's like, whoa, just solidifies it. Oh my God, this is great. They're so good. They were
Cool.
both.
Oh yeah. Anything else about this show? I figure we move the train along.
Just that one. I just wanted to comment on that. Sky is Crying. Let's
we can obviously jump around. Of course, I'll pull up the set list to where the hell are we going next? We're going to Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo.
I have not been to any of these places. I should get there. One of these
It's
days.
a cool little hockey stadium.
Yeah, this arena is like a little. Think of a little club where you would play club hockey, bring all the kids, and it was a surprise, man. We were impressed. We liked it.
I don't want to say less than 2,000 people.
It
was very small. I don't know.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. And we were saying to ourselves that going afterwards that they just took control of this small crowd and said, "Look, you're going to get up and we're going to show you what we're about."
Yeah, I think they did. And it was not empty. I think the floor was packed, but a lot of seats, they were empty. A lot of
the upper level were.
I think that's their first time playing there. I'm not 100% positive on that. So obviously they're just trying to grow their fan base more. I do hope they go back there because the sound was impeccable. I mean, it was just such a small room, and I think they fed off that.
Yeah.
Susan from the get-go had leg was kicking on the second song.
She had a little something there stuff this night. So.
Yeah, she was on fire. I don't know what was going on there.
And where we sat, we could see facial expressions. You could see the band feeding off. It's the first time I was able to see them feed off one another, from, the backup singers to the horns, just,
that was our viewpoint. Yeah, it was just great.
Just a great viewpoint.
It's like 20th row or something like that. Row I think it was.
Something like that.
It was just, and she had it going on that night. I don't know, I don't know what it was. But.
Well, I think walking into that arena, this is where I think we were first kind of around getting our drinks, and the sound just wasn't coming out to me. It didn't sound like it sounded mixed and like it was mushed together. But then once you got into the arena, it was great.
Yeah, there's not a bad seat in that place.
Absolutely.
Maybe when the way back and the sound's still blaring at you.
I'm looking for the I think I got someone with a set list here. Let me see if I could dig that up. I don't know if the band released a set list for this. Maybe they did. But someone did post.
Some kid walking away with it.
Yeah, I don't know if they kid had it. We wanted
some little
it.
Kid, it was fun.
Probably gonna lose it.
Yeah, you had one, lost it.
But there we go.
There we go. I'm stealing this from someone posted in one of the Facebook groups, but made up mind ain't that something here, my dear. Little by little, where my friends I went more into soul sacrifice, la-di-da, done somebody wrong, shame. Midnight in Harlem, yes we will. Life is crazy. Learn how to love. Keep on growing. Don't think twice with Margot Price, and Stranger in a Strange Land also with Margot Price's band. I don't know if this does this seem accurate to you guys?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
I said, is this accurate?
Yes,
oh,
it was.
Yep.
I mean the with the Margot Price band at the end, they had everyone on there and just tore it up.
Yeah.
It was really good. Keep on going. That's kind of that usually one that picks me up right away. But to end it with that, I felt led right into the encore, which they knew exactly. A great example. They knew exactly what they were getting into. So Yeah.
Every night they're
Yeah,
playing
the whole-
something that they. Every night it seems like they're playing something that they haven't played in a while, or something they don't play as much lately. Like La Di Da, Soul Sacrifice, Where Are My Friends, Little by Little, Life Is Crazy, Learn How to Love. They don't. They just haven't really played those songs a lot lately, and in 2024. But like we keep talking about, every night you just kind of don't know what you're gonna get, and there's just so much variety and surprises. You know, those songs I just named, no one was probably predicting that they would be played that
Well,
night.
it's funny you mentioned Soul Sacrifices. I think it might have been the first or second show where they did that in the Warner.
Oh,
in DC,
yeah,
and I was blown away. I was like, I'm in, and he says, yeah, I've never heard that before. That was the first time I heard it, and then here we are in Kalamazoo, same type of venue, small, them just really on. And they threw it out again. I almost felt like they recognized us.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's
they
fairly
really
early in the
feel that.
set list,
It's like
too, if
they,
you look at them.
it's like, okay, I saw these guys in DC again. They're Mexican, so I'm gonna throw it out there again. So I thought it was cool. Yeah, really, it meant a lot to me.
Yeah,
great show.
Ain't that something? It really caught me. Like that was the one I kind of was like, okay, nice. I've heard it before, but. So I don't know, it was something with Susan tonight, but she really brought that to life, and it was a fun one. I woke up singing that one. That was good.
That's probably I feel like that's maybe their most not most popular, but like most played, one of their most played songs this year. You know.
Oh, really?
Ain't that something? It's on a lot of set lists, certainly.
Yeah, I heard it before. I was like, okay, whatever. But this one was just like, it was good. It was
yeah. Nice groove. Yeah, I'll let you guys steer. I mean, I didn't see. I don't think I saw or heard any of this.
We're just in that small room, the big sound.
Yeah, that was just.
And the audience had like a little clap going towards the end as Susan brought it down and whatnot. What I never heard before. So that show was a testament to the crowd too. Like those were it wasn't sold out, but the people that were there, they were into it.
Yeah.
And I think the band really fed off that as well. They were feeling that.
I thought they just said we're gonna bring this small crowd up and get it.
Yeah, hey, you guys are here.
We're gonna turn you into.
We're here all for you.
5,000 crowd instead of a 1,000 crowd, and it felt it towards the end. It was amazing.
Yeah,
I was exhausted.
Life is crazy. Mike doing it. It's a big one.
The one thing that I noticed was they gave out pink poker chips at all three of the all three concerts this weekend. There was no variation in color. All the chips were pink.
Okay.
We must have came late.
Oh, I see it right there. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
What does that mean? Do you guys know what those chips are for?
I think it's just part of the Deuces Wild tour promotion because we got one in the weekend.
Yeah, we were in New York.
Yeah.
And
I think it's I guess it's just a collectible. I think you can like take a picture of it and add it to your like profile on the app or something, but maybe they are going to be redeemable or usable for something at some point more specifically. I'm not totally sure.
They don't hand out a lot of them. They only hand out like 1,000 of them or something like that. Someone was telling us.
Yeah, they're you can see. Yeah, I mean, it's just obviously.
Pull up a picture of the.
I think that whole blood section was a little bare there.
Yeah, like it was empty.
It was just kind of empty. And listen, they didn't know. I think this was probably their first time playing this venue because the whole arena staff, when we asked, hey, first time, they're like, yes, are you in? They're like, yeah, I'm in. So I think we mentioned that before.
Yeah.
But the seats were great, even on the ground level. You could see, clearly on stage. So I would hope they play that again.
And if you were back here, obviously your pictures of stage is a lot closer in person. So there is no bad seat in that place. And I think tickets were going really cheap towards the end, like $15, $20 or something like that.
Get yourself in the door. Yes, something's like
$10. Oh, it's great.
There's something. I was gonna say, go on.
I said parking was $5. It was like, we're just used to these, 20.
Yeah, I'm moving to Kalamazoo.
20 hours. But no.
I don't know what's going on in the Midwest, but it seems like the Midwest just isn't selling out shows. They'll sell the Beacon out like 6 times, sell out Red
Right.
Rocks and stuff, sell out the Greek 4 times. And I think that's why they go to some of these quirky, smaller stadiums and venues, is because they're right now they're not selling them out. If they can't sell out, 25, 4,500 seat place, 7,500 seat place, like Cahoga Falls seats 19,200. So I don't know if that's going to be a packed place, but I was looking yesterday and there's still lots of tickets available.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's a Midwest thing or what, but they just haven't really found it yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, I was gonna say just concerts are pricey in general. It's like it's just it's stuff out there, and like I wish I could get to every single show. But I was gonna say about these minor league hockey arenas, something seems like looks very quaint and just like intimate about these
you were leaning against the boards, drinking, photobombing. It was fun.
It was fun crowd. Everyone got together and we photobombed, but they were like, "No, come in."
Yeah.
Just that TTB spirit. Everyone's in good spirits.
This is the first time I think they came to Kalamazoo. Usually when they come to Michigan, they go to like Sterling Heights or they go to Rochester, Freedom Hill, where we saw them last year. Not Freedom Hill, help me out here.
Fox or Meadowbrook.
And then Fox Theater in Detroit. So this is the first time they were in Kalamazoo. We didn't go because we already had something already committed. We were in a canoe trip during the weekend, so we couldn't go. But we went to Toledo, and then we went to last night to Sterling Heights.
Nice.
Yeah, so looking at like Life is Crazy again, Mikey, my gosh. I think I've heard that a couple of times, and I can hear it every show if he played it.
I love how it builds up. I love how that song just builds. It starts off as almost like this very slow slide guitar riff, and then the drums, and then just like that's what they do.
Well, that's what his arms go up like this, he's gonna go off. So once he's full arm raised, it's coming. So I love that guy. I try to find him, in small venues, hoping that I can run into him at some place in either Baltimore or Philadelphia. I would love to see him out there. I really wish he would get his name out there more. Still be affiliated with the band, obviously, but I think he is just one of the best. He's special, and there's nothing wrong with him going out there and promoting himself as well. I love it.
Yeah, what amazing contributions Mike has given to this band over the years. Like it's
Hey, I got a quick question. Were the people in Kalamazoo and in Milwaukee, were they sitting down watching, or they
they were up. I mean, Kalamazoo had little pockets and whatnot, but for the most part,
they were up.
They were up. Yeah, I'll get to the sit when we get Sterling. I might take on that, but they were up. Everyone was dancing, having a great time. Milwaukee was the same way too. Everyone was up. Another standout was "Don't Think Twice." They came out and she did a song with Margot Milwaukee. They kind of did a little duet. So I think they did it again on Saturday. Susan just sings that song beautifully. I think Margot did one verse, and I don't know. She just told Susan to take it from here, but Margot did the one verse, and then Susan just finished. I don't know if she was like, "Hey, Susan, take it."
It seemed like it was a handoff.
You're
so close, and that's what's in the interaction you could see in that small arena. They fed off one another. It's beautiful. Together.
And I just, Margot, I don't know much about her. Nothing really besides, seeing her at these tours. But I'm wondering if Susan just kind of feels, hey, sees a little bit of herself in her. Young woman with a band, traveling, trying to make it. Susan did that for so many years. And I'm just wondering, you can see a little bit of just love and affection between them. And I'm just wondering if that just puts that special place in Susan's heart.
I think there's definitely some of that has to be true. And I think that's probably how they see a lot of the, especially younger acts, as like, they take on more of a, a mentorship and leadership and have no problem like being looked up to by younger artists. And they did the same, obviously, especially, Susan and Derek with, a lot of the Black blues artists, that came before them that they look at with such reverence. I think that's the right word. And that's how, the younger artists look at Derek and Susan. They're sliding nicely into that sort of role when necessary, or when, needed
Yeah.
in their lives with these young artists. It's cool. It's
Yeah,
cool
I
to
don't know if
see.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna, because it's making me think of like what we talked about last week with Kebby in Minnesota, and just like not even just it extends beyond just the artists and the young artists and the pros that they tour with, but just like how they want to bring music to young people, and like especially Kebby, that I'm still thinking about that, like how the guy just like literally, from what I understand, like will just reach out to local schools and music schools and all the cities that they stop at and just want to check it out and be part of things and offer his time.
Great.
Well, I was watching him in Toledo during their third song. They played "I Want More," and Derek and Susan did this like little guitar battle type thing. And I'm watching it's like the old videos from Les Paul and Mary Ford, where they would do their little, he'd play a little something and she'd play exactly what he'd play, and it'd go back and forth, and it was really cool. I thought,
Yeah, I love the call and response.
Yeah.
It's a story of communication, and yeah, that I love that. That's just so much fun, and they always do the right amount of it too. They don't overdo it. They don't know, but because they could go back and forth on guitar in every song if they wanted to. And some fans would want that. Some of the the more guitar heads that came from the DTP background or whatever the case may be, we're like, I would, people sometimes want to hear more guitar stuff and would love to hear Susan and Derek.
I think Susan on Saturday was just she had something to prove with that guitar.
Yeah.
She was really wailing, and
I feel when she ups her game, then Derek takes it up a notch too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
First Derek
keep
said,
up with her. I guess.
Like Derek's like, all right, let's go with this. And then she gave it back to him, and then he said, "All right, let me."
I'll see you, and I'll raise you, and
yeah,
what they're saying in musical terms.
Yeah. We thought we mentioned that. I don't know if it was today or something, but we were saying that the way them two were going at it.
Yeah, you wonder if some before shows they get pissed off at each other. You know what I mean? Just a little tiff. And they just do it out on stage, but yeah, no, it was great.
I think certainly there must be something to that in music,
right? And those are the magical
expression.
moments, right? I mean,
maybe they make up. That's how they yell at one another.
We don't know what they're thinking about when they're playing and they're singing. It's not always like I want to be on time. It's an emotional thing going on.
She was off. She went off. Second song. Yeah.
Passion was there. Yeah.
We also heard Buddy Guy was in town in Kalamazoo.
Yeah,
so
we were
like
hoping.
Thinking,
We were like,
could this happen? But I'm sure those were. And I don't even know if that was true. So we took our uncle too through marriage. We took him to his first show in Kalamazoo.
Ex-husband.
He lives over there.
Good man.
Quiet guy. Doesn't say much, no expressions, but he couldn't stand still. He loved it. So he's on the bus.
Yeah.
We tried to get him to go to Detroit, but to Sterling Heights, but he couldn't do it.
Are you like this? I mean, I know you're Tony and Joe. You guys are both passionate music fans, but are you this passionate, or does it approach these levels with other acts? Like, do you want to travel and see other acts and like to repeatedly and are not cases about them too?
I mean, we'll travel if we can. We do a lot of traveling, and if we
talking about a particular another band.
Oh no,
I've done Dead and Company recently, where I traveled to see them and whatnot. But outside of them, there's not another band that I would travel and follow around.
And it's just lucky that I'm, the East Coast where I live is just right down the coastline, and they seem to do a lot of shows there. It was a perfect storm. And
did you see? I was gonna ask if you saw Dead and Company at the Sphere.
Yeah, I went in June. Did 3 shows there, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I had a friend that just went there recently who was raving about that experience.
It's a really cool venue. Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I get a text from a friend that night showing me his pass. I'm like, I think my nephew's there. So they ran to each other. So
it's
just very cool.
It's just the whole community, jam band community. It's all connected, and even they never say you're never alone at a Dead show. Same with Tedeschi Trucks. You're never alone at a Tedeschi Truck show. For sure, the community.
Right, and I don't even consider Tedeschi Trucks. I don't consider them a jam band or jam band exclusively, but they're also the best at that too.
Yeah.
They're also the best at that too. Anything else about Kalamazoo, or should we move on to the
No,
come back to
it was,
that was
yeah, I
great.
hope it is, because we have family out there, so we'll be there again. And yeah, great show.
good stuff. Let's dig into Sterling Heights 8/11. I gotta find the set list to this one too. What the hell did I do with that? Let me find that. I got the poster up for this. Is a cool poster.
Well, I got some question. I got a question for a lot of Tedeschi Trucks fans. If anybody out there listening, me and my wife were sitting there. You know, we've been waiting like 6 months for this concert to come. They come out with Anyhow. What can you say about Anyhow? It's Anyhow. It's always great. You know, it's possible. It's really great. Go right into Do I Look Worried? You know, and it's just jamming, man. We're dancing. We're having a great time. They get into It's So Heavy, and I get a tap on my shoulder. It's like, hey,
Sit
buddy,
down.
do you plan on standing and dancing the whole concert? And
Yes.
I'm like, hey, man, you know, I paid my money just like everybody else. If people in front of me are standing and I can't see, I'm going to stand so I can see. And
There
they're
you
like,
go.
well, you know, everybody behind you can't see because you're standing up. So I told the guy to get an usher, man. If you don't like it, get an usher. And usher comes tells me, he said, I will. You know, if he'd come up to me and been real nice about it, said, hey, you know, do you think we can work something out? You know, I'm compromised.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what
they're-
it comes down to. Is like just like
you know, they're
the
trying to
communicating.
preempt me, and they're trying to put a power play on me right before we're into the second song, and they're already trying to pull a power play. Luckily, everybody around me was dancing, and Solidarity stood by, and we just said, look, when it's time to dance, we're dancing. When it's time to sit, you know, I can see if I'm dancing, you know, during, you know, a real mellow song or something, just getting out of control. But I mean, the show just started. It was like, really, I want Tedeschi Trucks fans. Are we standing and dancing? Or are we sitting down? That's my question.
I'm standing.
Toledo people sat down when we went, but this last night I felt like there was some kind of magic in the air. You could tell that they were feeding off the crowd. People were dancing. Everybody around us was dancing. We were having a great time, except the guy behind Chris that yelled at him. But other than that, we were having a great time.
I think we've all been yelled at.
Yeah.
Oh, I had
They were-
someone flashing the light at me, you know, from behind. I ignored them. Like, I can't.
Yeah, they were. I was in the sitting section. I'm a stander, but there was a lot of people sitting, which just kind of killed my buzz a little. Like, come on, because you know, like you said, the band, they feed off the crowd.
They
And
do.
I don't think they gave it to them. That I don't know. There's a lot of sitting going on. Even
I'm saying there's a guy in front of me all night, man, putting his hands in the air, waving his hands back and forth. You know, that's his option. That's how he's enjoying the show. You know, I'll do what I got to do to get around it so I can see. You know, and it's
a very controversial topic in the.
Tell me about it. I think I got a comment on YouTube about it. I gotta check into that to see if I need to reply. I mean, really, it's just like kind of just be courteous and communicate and work it out and be like, I'll stand for this one, I'll sit for this one, I'll go to the side, you stand here, I'll stand for this one, fine. Maybe it's, you know, we don't want to talk to each other about it, and we just want to get mad. But some people are like looking forward to. I got the vibe sometimes, even just listening, you could hear people almost like looking forward to yelling at someone for standing. They're like that's part of their plan for like the evening. They're almost like
in Kalamazoo too, but
yeah, I heard a couple times like, well, this is a good song to sit on, buddy. I'm like, no, it's just it's hard, you know. You gotta just, what's music for?
That's right,
Not to
David.
sit around.
Hell yeah, I plan on dancing when the music moves me, David Flam. What's up, dude?
Yeah, there you go. You got to do it, man. And and that's what it's all about. Like, how do you come to this type of concert and the way they perform? They're not asking you to sit out on your hands. No one sings like that or puts that output out and expects you to sit on your hands. So I understand it's a big problem in the community. Yeah, pardon me?
I was just going to say,
last night's show was awesome. The crowd was into.
Oh
yeah, some people. I was going to say some people just can't stand, but like that's not everyone. And there's also disability seating, and if you really need to, like, you can make if it's that. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely, they will. 100%.
Again, it's the way you approach somebody. If you're trying to make a power play, and you know you're trying to gang up on somebody to get them to do what you want, I just don't buy that. I'm trying to be a hippie, and hippies don't get angry. But you can't
Yeah,
try to
there you
force
go.
your will upon other people. Like I said, I'm always willing to work. Hey, I can dance in my seat and headbang in my seat just as good. But you know what? Sometimes you got to get up and just get going, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I feel you.
I'll step
We
off
all
my
need to get that
soapbox.
out of our. Yeah, no, it's all we're on the soapbox with you. all trying to figure out what's the best arguments for. The beat goes on with that for sure. But anyhow, do I look worried? It's so heavy, like you mentioned. Bound for Glory into Chevrolet. Here, my dear, stand back, idle wind. Got my mojo working. That's as far as I got on your recording. You recorded that video, Chris?
Yes.
What's your YouTube channel? You might give that a plug so people can find it.
Cheech Merrill.
Cheech Merrill. It's pretty. It'll pop up. It's the one with the Tedeschi Trucks band videos.
It's a little shaky because, like I said, I was standing and dancing, trying to record and looking through my binoculars. At the same
Dude,
time.
I wasn't watching that. I'm just listening. It sounds pretty good, and I do appreciate your enthusiasm that sometimes is audible on the recording as well. It's not too much. It punctuates the tracks and the music because you're kind of yelling when I would yell stuff too.
Yeah,
it's funny.
I'm not very vocal, so I can only yell. Yeah, it's about the best I can do.
Dude, it reminded me of myself.
Caveman yell.
It still reminds me of myself. Crying over you, it ain't fair. Dreams, part of me. I pity the fool. I wish. Oop, where'd it go?
Nice.
Wish I knew. To close. Oop.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm new here. Signs high time for the encore and Stranger in a Strange Land. Per setlist.fm.
Yeah, it was a great show, man. I call it the made up mind show, man. It had 4 songs from Made Up Mind, so they really featured that pretty heavily.
Mm-hmm.
They played what was it? Idle Wind, Do I Look Worried, I'm So Heavy, and Part of Me. So, and that Part of Me song, man, it really showcases the whole band. I mean, everybody in that gets a little spot, It's got all the 3 singers are singing off each other. It's got some really cool sax solo.
Part of Me.
I just think
that's fun.
Great dance tune.
Yeah. Once Dreams came on, I felt the crowd was pretty much up the rest of the show, especially in front. Everyone got on their feet, during Dreams, and then it kind of stood up the whole time. What
you
really
got the whole? Go on. No, I was just going to ask if you got the whole show, Chris.
The whole show's posted online.
Dude, that's great. I'm going to finish that tonight.
I was excited about Bound for Glory because that's the first time I got to see them sing that, and I loved it.
It was stellar.
Yes.
It was really great, man. And my wife really loves I Pity the Fool. She just digs it.
I love Susan.
She went off on that one. I love when she does that.
She does.
Yeah, she was in there.
She did in Australia too. I love that song.
She also plays a nice little, wah solo in that too, But I think I gotta research this, but I think she only plays that song on nights when they have a off day afterwards. Because she really hits it hard on the vocals, man. But she really gives
on
it
which
everything.
song?
Pity the Fool.
I Pity the Fool.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's funny. I believe it. Did the leg go up? Did the famous was it the left leg, right leg? Either.
Yes. Yeah.
Essential Susan.
They also played 2 Derek Trucks covers and 2 Allman Brother covers, which was really cool.
Yeah, there's such a balance. Like these observations you're making about the set list. Like these are just definitely thoughts that go into we got to get our Allman Brothers. We got to get this. Did we play a Derek and the Dominoes last night? We'll take a break from that tonight. We'll do this instead.
Yeah.
Stand Back was awesome. That was
that's always that's a great song.
Well, Gabe's got a good voice, man, and he makes that B3 just hum, man.
Yeah, I really like that.
Gabe?
Yeah, he's fantastic, man. His voice is good. Great keyboard player.
Yeah.
Really a great addition, man.
Really, yeah. That drum solo did stand out to me last night because they took it down to such a quiet. And I'm probably should have seen that before, but last night I was sitting. actually paid attention to it, what they were doing on there, and they really brought that down to a whisper, and that was really cool. It was the highlight of the night.
And then Derek finished Idled Wind out with that solo, man. It just kind of builds, and then it's at the end, it just climaxes, man. I was like, man, I need a cigarette.
No, that's well said, and that's like my favorite thing about the band is that the peaks and valleys and the climaxes and the bringing it down low, like who does it like there's no who's doing it like that. It just keeps it so engaging throughout the entire show, throughout every single moment of every song. Every single moment of every song feels totally essential. Even if it's just one drummer playing one note, it's just like, that makes sense right there at this moment in this concert at this, it all makes sense to me.
You might be saying where Derek knows how to mix things up, how to get the drummers going at the right time. If he feels, hey, they're gonna, maybe I don't want to get them in a pattern here. Let's spice it up a little bit and throw this into the mix. So
yeah, they definitely keep each other alert. This band, their members.
Well, the funny thing is, we met people from Canada. We met people from California there. We met people from Ohio, man. It was like people were there from all over the place. Yeah. I mean, anywhere within, like you say, like 3-4 hours, people were driving to get there, man, to get to the show. And it was really cool.
Well, the guy next to us, he's from California.
Well, that one was so my Milwaukee and Kalamazoo was planned. The Sterling, I had no intentions of going, but after Kalamazoo, I'm like, it's a 2-hour drive from Kalamazoo. I'm going, so. And I've never did that before, where it's kind of been on them, but that felt good to do that. Just kind of travel with them a little bit. It's fun.
And earlier, Adam, you were talking about posters. I didn't realize this, but the foil posters, we got 5 out of 25. They only sell 5. They only made 25 foil posters.
Wow.
So that's like there's 25 in the world, and I've got one of them. And the coincidence was, I got number 5 at Toledo too. So I got 5 for the Toledo poster and 5 for the Sterling Heights poster. So now I'm going to Troika Falls tomorrow, and hopefully I'm gonna get number 5 for the foil poster.
How many posters do you have?
I'm at 3 now, man. But every time I go, that's all I'm buying. The wife gets the shirts, but you don't have to wash a poster.
You guys have a system. That's cool that you've committed to becoming a poster person and a T-shirt. There it is. Oh yeah, look at that. Damn. Let me.
There we go.
Yeah, they were all out of even regular ones before the show started. I went there and they were gone already. Wow. That's a sweet little poster.
that's awesome.
And my wife is even going to let me put them in our living room.
Thinking about it. Thinking about it.
You're wearing the shirt, and he's got the posters and all that. And then it's funny how people commit to. I'm thinking about myself when I say this, but like to certain like roles within like the TTB Swamp family. Oh, I'm gonna be a poster collector. I'm gonna do a podcast. I'm gonna be the T-shirt person. I'm gonna start recording audio at shows and share it and like everyone. We find little. I don't know. We find our place, I guess, in this whole universe. Is this cat's name like Mark Rivers, the kitty? Ephraim.
Well, that's the thing, back a long time ago, they used to have tour books. And I used to collect the tour books. Because, again, T-shirts, you wear them. They wear out. They get holes in them. And they're not really a collectible. It's more of a fashion statement. So I started collecting these posters now. And I'm sorry I missed the first couple shows. I don't know if I was just being cheap or I didn't want to hold a poster for a whole concert.
All the above. Those are the reasons probably I don't want to buy one, or I don't always buy posters.
Now, and then I was being lazy, you go to a concert, it's like, okay, well, let's see what's on YouTube because I want to hear it again. And there'd be one song here, one song there. So I just said to myself, you know what? I'm just going to start recording them. As long as I get the audio and some video, it's good to go. I'm not going to zoom in, zoom out, and try to be professional. I'm just going to get it on record, And I'm old and not technically advanced. So I've had some problems with the first one. But yesterday's show, I got the whole show at one shot without running out of battery, without running out of memory, without having the wrong camera focus and all that. So hopefully I'm getting better.
Thank you. I appreciate just that there's just
that. Yeah, it just allows us to live if we weren't at the show to live.
Yeah, just to have the audio is amazing. I'm gonna try to remember. I should write it down. Where's my pen? I'll pop on your video and I'll timestamp all the tracks and list it in the comments. That's always helpful for people, like when the tracks all start. I can make myself useful. I'm doing it for myself, really.
And if you listen really good to the beginning of song 3, It's Too Heavy, you'll hear the fight about the standing and sitting.
Oh yeah, I've heard some standing sitting fights on audio. It doesn't. Something about I Am the Moon during that song.
Right.
Seattle was a wild one. I remember some of the Seattle shows or whatever were a little nutty for whatever reason. Anything else we should cover or talk about? I can pull back up the set list. We could give.
Did you talk about? I know maybe in the green room you guys were talking about Derek supposedly throwing out the first pitch tonight at the.
Oh yeah! Oh yes. Did they throw out the first pitch? Did they? Susan sang the national anthem, and Susan sang.
Susan's supposed to sing "God Bless America." I guess in the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah, someone messaged me, my coworker. I'm watching Susan sang "God Bless America." There you go. Somebody posted something in the TTB fan group on Facebook. Also, I think someone's either there or shared some pictures from social. I saw somebody posted, so I can't keep up. Yeah, someone's at the game, or this is from TV. Derek threw out the first pitch, and Susan did a beautiful "God Bless America." John Galid, he's been on. I think he's been on here. I'm losing my mind, but yeah, that's super cool. Also, I'll talk about this more, I'm sure, in the coming weeks. But the Kofi Burbridge Day of Service, I know some new cities were added. Definitely check that out. All across Tedeschi Trucks Band's official social media and all that. I like this poster with the cats. So cool.
Yeah, I do.
You got it.
Yeah.
Detroit Tigers, Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Football and baseball.
Cool.
Hey, do you know who makes these posters anyways? How do they go about doing that? Do you know? I mean, is it like local artists or
Ivan Minsloff was the artist for this one. I actually have that. The artists can always be found on the band's social media, of course. But
it seems like in every town they have a different artist, and I'm just wondering, do you submit stuff to it, or do they pick, or I wonder how they do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess once you sort of get connected to the poster artist world, they all probably I'm sure it's a community, and they get referrals. Oh, I know a guy in Cleveland who does poster art, says the guy in Sacramento who originally got connected through some other artists. I think it's probably just a world where they just get connected to people and probably some options present themselves. But yeah, there's some definitely talented people out there, and I don't know. I want to see, like, other than obviously a Tedeschi Trucks Hall of Fame where you could like see every poster. Full size on like a giant wall. But maybe I should work on like putting together some sort of digital collage. Might be cool even for the time being. How many do you guys use? Canva? Have you heard of that software? No. It's like Photoshop for dumb people, but it's good. It's good like consumer, but you can use it for like professional stuff too. I might start to use that to put together a collage.
What year did they start doing the posters? How long have they been doing that?
Forever, I assume.
Really?
I mean, maybe not. There probably isn't a poster for every single show, but there's been posters for, or I guess when you get bigger, a flyer becomes a poster. I guess, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then obviously digital, since things maybe just digital, ultimately online, digital posters and flyers. Anything else about the set list? I got a list. I got to get onto your video and start listening to the back half of the set list. The Crying Over You. That's cool. That's back into the set list. Was that?
We're about to cook
We're gonna
dinner right
put
now,
some
so
steaks.
we'll look you up and check it out.
We'll check it out, man. Have some
We all have the same plans: is to eat and chill and listen to your Tedeschi trucks. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I'm happy to see Crying Over You back into the fold the second time that they played it, recently or whatever, and whatnot.
And thank you, Adam, for all you do, man. We really appreciate it. It's like really cool, and it's really nice way to be part of the community, and you're really kind of a main cog.
I have a quick question.
Oh, thank you.
I thought you heard you say, Adam, one time. So we got a chance tomorrow night. We're gonna go drive to the next concert, and we're gonna try to get the pit tickets, the general admission. Is that you say that's pretty worth going to? Before I heard you say something about you should always do that, right? General admission.
Oh, general admission in general, I guess so. Because
no, just in the pit. It's just in the pit.
Yeah, if you're in a pit, then why not? I mean, yeah.
First come, first serve. You just got to stand the whole concert.
Yeah, but it's a pit where you a pit up front. A pit up front.
You don't get a guitar pick sitting 20 rows back.
We're gonna try that tomorrow night. Our first time, we're gonna try the pit.
Yeah, that suits you guys. I'm sure, and there's a handful of people that have come on this podcast that love this band so much that they're like, yeah, we were the first people at online, and they're like, what are you doing here? The show doesn't start for X amount of hours. Well, we wanted to get here early. Well, just to so that will probably be you guys trying to get your way to the
and get my poster.
When is the tomorrow in Cuyahoga? Is that where we are?
Yep, Cuyahoga Falls.
Outside Cleveland, essentially.
Right.
Yeah, we're driving. We're on vacation this week, so we figured we'd take a drive.
Nice. Let's see here.
It's like
when
3
am I
hours
gonna?
from our house, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, maybe I'll do because I see 18th and 19th. I see the band is off, but they got Ohio, Toronto, upstate, Canandaigua, and Burgettstown. I don't know how to say that. PA. So maybe I'll recap those on either the 18th or the 19th if you guys want to come back on and do that.
Let us know. We're always available for you.
Sounds good. Good stuff. Yeah, I mean 19 shows in 31 days this month, I think. TTB. Wild.
Wow. Hey, everybody's got to have a hobby.
Yeah. No, the music keeps us going for sure. Anything else you guys want to talk about or mention or cover or discuss?
It's cool.
Keep on rocking, man. TTB.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you for the time. I'm gonna boot you guys out, do my little outro. We'll make some food and check out your video. I'll try to get those timestamps on there for the songs.
Peace, man.
Take care, guys. Thank you again. Good connecting, Tony and Joe.
Guys. All right.
Good seeing you again, Chris and Mary Jane. Later. We did it. So there you go. What was that? Episode 66, recapping a trio of shows in Wisconsin and a couple in Michigan. That was fun. Always fun for me to connect with new fans and returning guests and whatnot. Yeah, no, the band is rolling. Oh yeah, definitely again, check out the Kofi Burbridge Day of Service. Volunteer for that. Get it going in your city if there isn't one available to volunteer for. Hope everyone's doing okay out there. Please check out at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram. Subscribe on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. I'll get the audio version of this up tonight, tomorrow, hopefully sometime soon. At Adam Choate Instagram and Twitter, adamchoate.com for everything else I'm cooking up. TedeschiTrucksPodcast.com. That will send you to a link tree with everything related to this show. TedeschiTrucksBand.com. That's their official website. Download the Swamp Family app. Join the fan club and buy merch, buy tickets to shows. Get poker chips at the shows. Get there early, especially if you're going to a show with a general admission pit. Thank you to the band for sure, the fans, podcast supporters, guests. So many people have been saying very encouraging things to me. That's nice. That's always good to hear, and I appreciate all the kind words and support certainly. But I think that's about all I got for today. Thank you everyone for listening. Yeah, I'm thinking what would I say, 17th and 18th. We recap one of those days. We'll recap the next 4 shows. But so yeah, hit me up if you're going to more shows in August, and then we'll get you on here to recap them for me so I could feel like I was there. But yeah, let's talk soon. Peace.